Hey y'all, howdy, welcome to One for the Books. I'm Sandy Broadwell, and welcome to a very big life update. We bought a house. I have a little bit of a book unhaul to go through with you guys today because I have recently unboxed all of my books and set my bookshelf back up. It's not completely organized the way that I want yet, but my fantasy and sci-fi shelves are right here. And very soon, my husband is going to be building me a brand new set of custom bookshelves on the wall over here to my right. So you'll probably see some bookshelf building vlogs in the future, which I am so excited about. But for now, since I have recently unboxed all of my books, I have this bag, which I'm about to take and unhaul in the Little Free Library. If you just want to skip to the unhaul, the timestamps will be down in the description below. But I just want to tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on in my life, because it's been a lot. As you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, my husband and I have been living in our van full-time and traveling around the country since August of 2023. So it's been a few months over a year now, and it has been such a fantastic experience. We really got to see so much of this beautiful country and so many beautiful wild places, and it just really filled our hearts and filled our cups. And I'm so excited that we had the opportunity to do that. But equally as exciting is that we have just purchased a house. We've never been homeowners before, and we're very excited about all of the projects that we're going to get to do on this house and just really make it our own. Even more than just buying a house in a community that we knew, we actually moved locations. So previously, before we moved into our van, we have lived in Lexington, Kentucky, and both of us have lived there for the majority of our adult lives. And we really love Lexington, and we have a really great friend group there, and it's just a really awesome community. However, we are big into whitewater kayaking, and we love the mountains and the rivers that comes with whitewater kayaking, and there isn't any of that really close by to Lexington. And so to really participate fully in our hobbies, we were having to travel quite a bit, like a 4-hour drive one way, oftentimes almost every weekend. And that's just really unsustainable. And we have a ton of friends that live in very whitewater happening places that we've made over the years, and it just felt like the right move for us, that when we put down roots, we wanted to be closer to the mountains and closer to whitewater rivers. So we knew for a very long time that we wanted to move to Western North Carolina. The Appalachian Mountains are just so beautiful. There's whitewater all year round, and not just in the summer like in many Western states. So yeah, we have bought a house in Asheville, North Carolina, and we are really excited about it. It's a very cute little house. Yeah, we're just super excited about it. And I'm looking for jobs in the area. I've got 2 interviews actually lined up next week, so that's really exciting. And we're just doing kind of all the moving new things. So that's been really cool. We also have family really close by. My husband's sister lives here in town. My mother-in-law and stepfather-in-law only live about half an hour away. And my parents and grandparents are only 2 hours from here. So all of that is really good stuff. And I've been rambling about this for a long time, but we're just really excited to be in Asheville. We actually went under contract for our house on September 18th, and then just a week and a half or 2 weeks later was when the hurricane hit Asheville, and it hit it really hard. So my husband and I came into Asheville and started immediately the day after the storm helping out with relief efforts. Our buddies in the whitewater community set up a nonprofit called HurricaneHeleneWNC.com, and they have been an amazing organization. If you would like to help out with hurricane relief efforts or donate any money, please go to that website. It is guaranteed to go to people who need it on the ground directly with them, and that's who we were volunteering with. And I was just so impressed with the community here, and it made us feel even better about choosing to settle down and put down roots in this community because there were just so many people helping. Yeah, it was really devastating, but really heartwarming to see as well. So there's that. So our closing actually got delayed quite a bit because of the hurricane. There was no running water in Asheville for a very long time, and they won't let you close on a house if there's no running water, apparently. But we were able to close on our home on October 30th. And we handed out candy the very next day on Halloween for trick-or-treaters and got to meet a lot of our neighbors that way. So that was really exciting, kind of way to start integrating ourselves with our community. And we live in this really great walkable neighborhood for that kind of stuff. So really, really stoked. Our water is still not drinkable in Asheville. You can like shower and do your dishes and all those things now, but you can't drink it, which is a little bit challenging, but we're managing just fine. And there's lots of water resource points around the city where you can go collect water. So I'm sure at some point in the future, I'll do a full home tour when we're doing more renovation type stuff. But right now there's just boxes everywhere and we're still unpacking and all of that good stuff. So that's the big life update. We're no longer van lifers. We still have the van and we'll probably have the van for a long time to come yet, but it'll be more of our weekend adventure vehicle instead of our house. The end of a chapter and the beginning of a really exciting chapter. So let's talk about some books. I set up these shelves. I just wanted all the books on the shelves and out of the boxes so I could see what I had. And I kind of have like a nonfiction shelf, a fantasy shelf, and a sci-fi shelf with some other genres just like that I don't have very many of sprinkled in throughout. I am of the mindset that I only want to keep books that I really, really loved or that I would be like excited to share with friends and family if they came over and wanted to borrow some books. So some of these books I really liked, but don't feel like they're super rereadable or don't feel necessarily as excited to share them with people. So that could be a reason for the unhaul. And then some of these I just like straight up didn't really care for or DNF'd. So we'll talk about it as we go through. But the first one is The Dove Keepers by Alice Hoffman. I actually really loved this book, but it's very sad, very devastating. It is the true story about the siege of Masada by the Romans and the massacre of the Jewish community that lived there. And it was told through the perspective of 4 different women and their experiences in that community. Then we have The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. I have loved other stories by H.G. Wells, including The Time Machine and The War of the Worlds, but this one was a miss for me, a pretty big miss. So it's coming off the shelves. The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi has some really beautiful art on the inside, so I almost hate to get rid of it just for that reason, but I didn't love this writing. I thought the story was pretty intriguing, but the writing just did not vibe with me. It felt a lot more like a YA book, but just with some more violence and sex in it, and it felt like it was trying a little too hard. And I thought I would continue with the series, but I picked up the second book, which is called The Battle Drum, and I DNF'd the second book after like 10% or 12%. I wasn't feeling it, and I was reminded how I felt about the first book. So I won't be continuing on with this series, and I think this has the potential to be a favorite for someone. So I want to put it back out into the world with good vibes and hope that that person finds it. What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This was actually a ARC that I received through a Goodreads giveaway. It's a YA book. I'm honestly not even sure what it's about, but I was excited when I first got it in the mail, and that was like my first giveaway I'd ever won, but I just couldn't find the time to put it into my TBR, and I really am not into reading young adult novels at this point in my life, and I just don't see myself putting it on my TBR anytime in the future. So I would rather let someone else have that opportunity who might really connect with this. Then I have 3 books, 1 series, which I talked about pretty extensively. I believe I read these back in January, but it's The Girl in the Stars, The Girl in the Mountain, and The Girl in the Moon. I'm not even sure if that's the right order, but it's by Mark Lawrence. It's the same world as the series called Book of the Ancestor. This series is called Book of the Ice or Book of Ice. And so it's in the same world, but it doesn't follow the same characters. I just didn't really love this one. I loved the Book of the Ancestor. I still think about that series all the time, but I don't really feel like this added anything to the world or to my experience with it. I just felt like the pacing in this series was kind of all over the place. I'm reading the Library trilogy right now and absolutely loving that. So for some reason, the series did not connect for me, but I still we'll pick up probably anything that Mark Lawrence puts out in the future and really hope that this was just kind of a one-time fluke. Then we have The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. This is kind of a literary fiction, historical, but with like some magical realism or fantasy elements, I guess, where the Underground Railroad is an actual railroad under the ground that helps enslaved people escape to freedom. And it follows specifically one woman and her experiences as she tries to make her way to freedom and all these bad things that keep happening to her. It's really sad and depressing, honestly, and I think it was well worth the read, but I will never probably pick this up again. But it's highly acclaimed, so I think this will be a great one for other people to share around. Then I have Reparations Now by Ashley M. Jones. This is a collection of poetry. I did enjoy this collection of poetry, but I didn't connect with it on the same level of other poets that I do keep on my shelves, like Ada Limon or Billy Collins. So yeah, resharing it out in the world, hope more people discover Ashley M. Jones's poetry. And then finally, the last 3 books are another series, which is, I believe the title of the series is The Masquerade by Seth Dickinson, but it is the Trader Baru Cormorant series. So it's the Trader Baru Cormorant, the Monster Baru Cormorant, and the Tyrant Baru Cormorant. And when I read the first book, I was really, really stoked on it. I thought the series had so much potential. It was really dark, but I thought there was just a lot of cool stuff kind of hinted at. The second book I thought was a lot of a miss, and I felt like it was a slog for most of the way through, and I was wondering, where was that momentum that was building in the first book? Why was it not paying off in the second book? And then I read about 60% of the third book, which is the biggest one of all, and I was just not having a good time. And I really wanted to continue because the plot is really cool, but I just did not care. And when I finally realized, I was like, wow, I just don't care about this at all. I just stopped. So unfortunate. I had really high hopes for this series. Obviously, I got the whole thing as a gift because I was really excited and asked for it on my Christmas list. So that feels kind of sad to be getting rid of it, but I don't think I will be recommending this series in the future. So that's the end of that. And that is everything. So I have 12 total books to unhaul at the local Little Free Library. I'm excited to discover where some of my Little Free Libraries are nearby. That's where I'm at right now, and the upload schedule has been really sporadic lately because of all the changes that are happening right now, but I'm hoping, in the next few weeks, once things finally settle down after we get the house unpacked, that I'll be back to a once-a-week upload again. And just let me know in the comments down below, maybe what's your favorite house or yard project you've ever undertaken, or what's maybe a book series that you were gifted that you felt guilty about getting rid of down the line. All right, thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me for a little bit today. Thanks for sharing in my excitement about all the changes in my life lately. As always, thank you so much. Please be kind, read more books, and hit the subscribe button down below for more bookish content to come. I'll see you next time.